Namaste and welcome everyone from the beloved Jyotish community. It's nice to be here with you today. I'm very excited because I have a special guest, friend, teacher, and so many more things to welcome here, Sam Sadasiva Jeppy. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, Kṣaṇāti. Thanks for having me. And thanks for doing this great conference. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Sam's here to discuss a special promotion for the conference upcoming. And I'm very excited to hear what he has to say about that. So Sam, please, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. And yeah, Kṣaṇāti, of course, thanks for putting on this conference. You can see my screen there?
Yes.
Yeah, and so, I do a lot of online classes and I really love to give away, some extra stuff. Why not do it? We're so blessed to be able to do things with this technology. And as a way to, thank people for engaging, I like to give some recordings of classes that I've done, some master classes, and I'm going to be doing that here today. It's actually going to be 3 master classes. When I say master class, it's just me teaching. It's not like a conversation or anything. It's just me teaching with a really detailed manual and going through some very powerful techniques. And 2 of these are techniques that I've sort of developed. One is in my book, Yoga and Vedic in this book, The Ascendant. I have a section at the beginning of it that defines what I call the sun-moon potential. And it actually means that the sort of yin yang and the potential of every one of the 12 ascendants comes through wherever the sign of Leo and Cancer are ruling. So wherever the sign of Leo is, because this is where the sun comes in through the chart, we have a very strong bias and strong drive toward doing that thing really powerful. Like, for instance, if it's Pisces, Leo falls in the 6th house. So it means like service and things feel hard and like there's effort. So there'll be a very strong drive toward that thing. And in many ways, it kind of overcompensates a little bit for where the sign of Cancer is, because the moon is where we inherently feel sort of unempowered, at least actively, where we feel more sensitive and more reflective. And so wherever the sign of Cancer is, there's kind of like a vulnerability. Like, again, to use the same thing with Pisces, it would be like toward things like creativity and children. It's this sort of emotional field that's very rich, but it's hard to know how to act upon it, etc. That's an overview. But for each of the 12 ascendants, it's this very deep and latent potential where one sign, Leo, we're sort of hyperactive, and the other one, we're kind of sort of overcompensating for a sense of confusion around what to do, because we're not really sure what to do with the moon area of life. We just kind of feel it and we just kind of take it in. So there's a sort of vulnerability in all of us wherever the sign of Cancer is, because it's just where we feel, and we tend to overcompensate for it wherever Leo is. So that's the principle. It's very worked out and developed and easy to understand. It's a very strong hidden key to each of the 12 signs. So whatever your sign is, you'll be going, oh, wow, yeah, that makes so much sense. It's simple, but really profound. It's called the sun-moon potential. And that's it's a 42-minute class. Again, it's just me teaching the technique and you being able to see it. And then there's another one called Releasing the Serpent. This is another technique that I developed to help understand the lunar nodes and the opposition and the polarity that we get with the lunar nodes, because they exist along a pole, like an axis, the 2nd, 8th house, the 3rd, 9th house. And I realized as I was researching this that there's a thing I actually called it Bhavat Bhavam compounding, whereas if you take the 2nd from the 2nd and the 8th from the 8th, they're both the 3rd house. So think about it. 2nd from the 2nd and 8th from the 8th is the 3rd. Okay? 4th from the 4th and 10th from the 10th is the 7th. Think about it and you'll see that it's true. So when you take the Bhavat Bhavam principle, which is to get the derived houses, you wind up with the same house in the lunar nodal axis. So I started looking at this and investigating this and researching it, and I realized that the key to these nodal axis, to like release the serpent and the extremes in the nodal axis is to use that bhavam compounding house. So again, it sounds complicated. It's really not. If someone has the nodal axis in the 2nd and 8th house, the 3rd house areas of life are key. If you have the nodes in the 3rd and 9th house axis, then the 5th house is key, etc. So I go over and I teach the technique. And again, these are very streamlined. I explain the principle and then I just show you over and over again. I go through each one. So in the releasing the serpent, I explain what it is, and then I go through every nodal house axis. So wherever your nodal house axis, you'll hear me explain it in great detail in the releasing the serpent. Whatever your ascendant is, you'll hear me explain it in great detail in this sun moon potential class. Again, they're very focused, deep examinations. And then there's one more bonus that I don't have up here yet because I haven't done it, and it's going to be on 3D relationship case studies, because my classes on the conference are on moon yogas, which is a way to analyze our psychology. And by the way, these classes play into that as well. They're going to extend the potential of these classes. The first is on moon yogas and understanding our psychology, and the second is on what's called 3D relationship astrology, where I explain how to do relationship astrology readings using a 3D approach, synastry, the Vedic Kṣaṇāti system, and then also analyzing the individual's chart. So the third bonus is going to be me just doing case studies, because I'm not going to have enough time to do a bunch of case studies on the class, because it's only 4 hours and I want to get through the course material so you understand. But if you come to both of my classes, if you get both the moon yogas class and the 3D relationship seminar, then you'll also get these 2 classes and a dedicated class just to me doing case studies, where then I'm just going to do case studies using the 3D relationship model that you just learned. So again, all 3 of these really extend my offering so that you get much more insight into the moon, and especially with the sun moon potential, because we really don't understand what the moon and the sun are as well as we should. They're really these archetypes. They're really different from the other grahas. They don't rule 2 houses. They're very archetypal. They're related to the Ajna chakra, the masculine and feminine potential. They're really very different, and they're not treated as differently as they should be. And again, the lunar nodes as well. They're the lunar nodes that are eclipsing the sun and the moon. So these are very important principles. So it's going to really extend what I'm teaching and give you about 2 hours, actually 2 hours or more of bonus material. And I'm really excited also to teach and to go ahead and do the master class on the case studies. So it'll be 5 case studies using Vedic, using the 3D relationship astrology model. So if you get both of my classes, then after the conference, I'll send you these bonus classes: releasing the serpent, the sun moon potential, and the 3D relationship astrology case studies. That'll be great, because then you'll see me go through the thing that you just learned. So go ahead and get both, and I'm really happy to do it. And the reason it's great is because it doesn't really cost us anything extra here, because these are recordings, but you can learn just as if you saw it live. So you use the code SAM, right? It's just SAM.
Yes, if you use the code SAM at checkout, you'll get an extra 10.8% off on every single item in the order.
Yeah, and that would include either both of my classes or get the whole weekend, which is really what you should do, because, again, the thing about the conference, it's not just me, of course, but it's all these other great teachers, and the classes are archived. You have them. You can go back and watch them over. It's far superior even to coming in person, I think. I've always seen this as a very much superior way to learn, because we leverage the technology to have it forever. It's great to come in person. That's a different experience, but and it's a great one. But these online classes we're all used to it now. It's just as powerful, and you have it archived forever. And so you should get the whole conference. So either way, if you get both of my classes, if you just get those 2 and others, or you get the whole conference, then you'll get these 3 bonus classes.
Amazing.
I'll stop sharing there, but yeah, so I think that'll be a really good way to extend the offerings, and they dovetail with what I'm teaching, because the moon yogas is a great course so you can understand psychology and the patterning of the moon and our psychological patterning. And really that first class on the sun moon potential is very much about that. because again, it's the archetype between the masculine and the feminine. We tend to overdo something wherever that sign of Leo is. We tend to really focus because the light is coming in through the chart through wherever that sign of Leo is, that house, based on your ascendant. And we tend to just be like, oh, here's where the light is coming in. And this other thing, the sign of Cancer is like, and I'm not really sure what to do about that thing, but I have all these feelings about it, but I'm not really sure what to do. And so this interplay between those two houses is very important, and we don't really notice it.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, conclude and summarize a little bit. So Sam is going to be teaching Sunday, November 20th from 3 to 5:30 p.m. on the Moon Yoga's emotional mind reading. And then on Monday from 2 to 6:30 p.m., a 4.5-hour class, he's doing a 3D Vedic relationship astrology workshop.
Those are Eastern times.
Yes, that's an EST, Eastern, like New York City time. If you register for both of those lectures or the entire conference, Sam is giving you 3 master classes over 2 hours of incredible education as an offering for the 2002 Maharishi Parashara Conference, which is being held November 17th to the 21st of this year. I can't thank you enough for joining me today, Sadasivaji. I love you, brother. Namaste.
Thank you, my friend.